The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 19, Why You Can't Control Your Sugar Addiction. JoLynn Braley, the FAT Release Coach, and this is the JoLynn Braley Show. On today's show, I'm going to go beyond what you think is the problem and go to the real problem, and that is your mindset. How do you know that you have a mindset problem? Well, if you already know how to eat healthy and exercise regularly, and you would love to lose weight and keep it off, but you're not living a healthy lifestyle, then that tells you that you have a mindset problem. And the truth is that mindset is 90% of the game of achieving struggle-free success with your weight. How you eat and exercise is only 10% of the solution. How could that be? Well, if you don't take action with the healthy eating and exercise tools that you already know how to do, then what kind of results do you get? The only reason that you are not taking action is because of your mindset. If you had the 90% of the problem already in place and had that solved, so it was no longer a problem, then you would have no problem, no issue, no struggle with living a healthy and fit lifestyle. It would be no struggle for you to eat healthy, exercise regularly, release the excess fat, and keep it off. And in order to do those things that you already know you need to do to drop the fat and also maintain it, keep it off, you've got to have the mindset for it. What this does for you, once you have the weight loss mindset, is it allows you to leave your emotional eating, your binge eating, your night eating, your stuffing, food obsessions, beating yourself up mentally and emotionally for how you eat and avoid exercise. It helps you leave perfectionism, impatience, negativity about yourself and about your body and your weight. It helps you leave all of that bad feeling stuff behind. But the only thing that makes all of that easy to accomplish is the mindset. You've got to have a core and solid weight loss mindset. And let me give you this tip right now, and I highly suggest you write it down. Positive thinking is not enough. Positive thinking on the surface of an FAT mindset doesn't do a whole lot for you. In fact, you won't even be able to continue to do the positive thinking when your mindset is already FAT. And what is FAT? FAT are your fear-attracting thoughts. Here's something else that I suggest you write down. If you were taking action always and only from the space of love for yourself, then you would have no problem with your weight and with overeating and with food addictions, with sugar addiction, with emotional eating, binge eating. You wouldn't have any problem with food obsessions. None of that would be an issue. It is your fear-attracting thoughts, your FAT, that is on the inside of you that is holding you stuck in the patterns of living an unhealthy lifestyle. Your FAT mindset drives you to the store to buy the extra food to put in your mouth. It drives you to the fast food drive-thrus. It drives you to eat when you're not hungry. It drives you to beat up on yourself mentally and emotionally. It drives you to do all of these things that are not serving you if what you want is to lose weight and keep it off, if you would love to live in a healthy and fit body. So, that is the bottom line, and today's topic is actually the specific topic of why you can't control your sugar addiction. So let's look at this. And you already know that the most important part of this is your mindset. Okay, so that's the number one point. You do not have the mindset to enable you to release your sugar addictions. And could it be that part of your sugar addiction is chemical? Yes, it could be. Just like if you were on drugs. Imagine if you were on heroin, okay? Hopefully you're not. Hopefully you never have been. I never have been either. But there are a lot of folks out there who have gotten addicted to heroin. Well, that's a stronger addiction than sugar, but sugar is readily available. You can buy it anywhere. You could be eating it right now while you're listening to me talk. And it's not necessarily just sugar in your cakes and your candies and your cookies and in soda, but it's sugar that is hidden in processed food everywhere. In fact, I would guess, I don't have these statistics in front of me, but I am 99.9% sure that 90% minimum of processed foods all contain sugar. Now, when you read the ingredients on a processed food label, it's not always going to say sugar, all right? It could say crystalline fructose, or it could say fructose, or it could say honey, or it could say, oh wow, all kinds of things that are different words for sugar. Of course, it could say high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS. That's another form of sugar. It's a chemically produced sugar, but all of these different sugars are all part of your sugar addiction if you do have a chemical addiction to the substance of sugar. So sure, that could be part of it, and that's why you can't control it, and that's why you can't stop eating, and that's why you can't stop eating sugar. But that is a small part of it, because I bet that what I've just shared with you, you already knew this. It's nothing new. It's not like you've never heard before that eating more sugar gives you the cravings for more sugar. But the problem is, why do you keep doing it? So that's all about the mindset, your mindset that you have. And that has to do with your emotions, your beliefs, the images that you create in your own mind, the movies that you're playing, your worries, your fears, all of these things that are a part of your FAT mindset. And how do you know that you have an FAT mindset instead of a weight loss mindset? Well, the way that you know, it's very simple, the way that you know that you have an FAT mindset is because go look in the mirror, and if you don't like what you see, then your mindset is FAT. If, at the same time, you are not taking struggle-free action, healthy struggle-free action to release the excess fat. Now, if you actually are taking struggle-free healthy action to release the excess fat and it's just not any big deal for you, just like my clients tell me all the time after they complete the steps of the Inner Self Diet, which is my proven proprietary step-by-step system to permanent weight loss, struggle-free weight loss, and that's all done through a core weight loss mindset. They tell me all the time, they say, it's just not a big deal anymore. It's not any big deal. And just imagine for yourself, how would you feel about yourself and about your life, about your body? How much confidence would you have? How wonderful would you feel about yourself if you could actually say, wow, this is not any big deal for me anymore. This is not a problem for me to eat healthy and exercise regularly and do the things that I've known all along how to do, and now I'm actually doing them. What if you could say that? And not just say the words, of course, but have it be true, which means that you would be living it. And so back to whether or not you have an FAT mindset or a weight loss mindset, it's really, really simple. If you do have a weight loss mindset already, then more than likely you wouldn't even be listening to my voice right now, because you would just be out there living your life in your ideal body, having fun, and enjoying yourself. There would be no reason for you to be listening to this to the JoLynn Braley Show right now. Why would you do this? You wouldn't have a sugar addiction. You would have no problem at all getting off the sugar if that's what you want to do. Now, interestingly enough, my clients, they don't necessarily cut out all sugar, because that was never the problem. Katie is a great example. She used to be addicted to, well, in her words, she felt like she was addicted to candy, and she would eat candy all the time and always be looking for it. And then what she found through doing all of the steps of the inner self diet was that it was never about the candy. It wasn't about a sugar addiction. It was all about the things that were going on inside of her that had never been healed and resolved. And I guarantee you that you've got the same kinds of things going on. Now, what yours are, I have absolutely no idea, because I'm not working with you, you're not a client. But if I were working with you, then what we would do is get to the root of why you can't control your sugar addiction, release the root of that, and then if you did want to get off of all sugar, because that's the kind of lifestyle that you'd want to live, it wouldn't be a problem. And if instead you wanted to have the type of lifestyle which most of my clients lead, that would be, if you want to eat a cookie, you have a cookie. If you don't want one, you don't have one. But they don't cut out all sugar. And the reason I say most of my clients is because it's possible that some of them along their path, they decided to cut out all sugar, but I can't remember anybody right now who did that. Bottom line, once you have the weight loss mindset, then it's no big deal for you to release the sugar addiction that you currently have, because I 100% guarantee you it's really got nothing to do with the sugar. It's all about what you've got going on the inside. Now, one other thing that is a reason why you can't control your sugar addiction is because you have never made the decision to break free from it. Until you make the decision for yourself that you are serious about releasing the struggle with sugar and breaking free of your sugar addiction, then nothing will change. And this is just a basic, simple fact of life. It's the same thing with any area of your life. Imagine if you were deciding to open your own business, and you would have to make a decision in order to do that. If you just continued to think about it and waffle about it and be wishy-washy for the rest of your life and read books about it, just like you might be reading books about sugar addiction today, well, you would never open that business. Everything in life, if you want to be successful, it starts with a decision. And the most important decision that you could make for yourself is, do you truly, are you ready, are you worth, do you believe that you're worth breaking free of your sugar addiction? And the reason I present it to you like that is because you have to decide for yourself that you are worth living without that struggle. And believe it or not, that's what many things in your life come down to if you don't have them right now. You don't believe that you're worthy. You don't believe that you deserve to have the good lifestyle, the good outcomes, the good results that other people are living right now. And is that harsh? Well, I don't see it as harsh, because it's just how it is. If you truly believe that you deserve to be free of all of the struggles with food and your weight, then you would have made that decision, and you would have already been working with a highly skilled mentor and coach to release you of all of those struggles. And then you might say, as you're listening to me now, well, why wouldn't I just do it on my own? Well, the problem with that is, well, number one, if you already knew how to do it on your own and break free of your sugar addiction and all of your other struggles with food and your weight, then wouldn't you have already done that? Which means that you would also know how to make the decision to do it, and then you would have just done it, right? So if you're not getting the results you want, the quickest and easiest path, and the fastest path, of course, quickest and fastest path to get to where you want to go, is to just do the same steps that others have done before you. And if you try to do all of that on your own, if you even have the proven system to do it, to to break free of your sugar addiction. And of course, 90% of that is your mindset. So that means that you have to have the proven system to get the mindset so that you can break free of that sugar addiction, and then do the small 10%, which are the steps that will allow you to get off the sugar. Again, if that is what your goal is to get off of all sugar. Then the quickest and easiest way to do that is to simply work with a trained coach, a highly skilled coach and mentor who already has the proven system, that has already been getting others results, and just do that. It's so simple. There's really no other way to say that. And however, if you really don't believe that you are worthy or deserving of having these wonderful benefits of no more struggle with your weight, no more food obsessions, no more binge eating, no more sugar addiction, no more overeating, no more emotional eating, no more worries about your weight, actually being able to say, wow, you know what? Yeah, I'm still overweight. I'm still 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 10 pounds overweight, but it's not a big deal to me anymore because I'm living the healthy lifestyle now that I know is releasing the excess fat, and yes, it's going to take time for that fat to come off. That's another part that is a huge roadblock for most people who are overweight. They want it to happen right now, and it's never going to happen like that. It's not going to happen. And when you don't have the proper mindset to deal with that fact, then that's another reason why you just stay stuck and you keep overeating. But when you have all of the pieces of the puzzle in place and you are taking healthy action to release the excess fat, then even when you're on your journey and yes, you're still overweight, it's not any big deal because you know that the fat is coming off. There's no more worry about it. There's no more pondering or obsessing about it because you're just doing what you need to do to release the fat, and hey, it's coming off and I know I'm going to be able to maintain it because I've got the mindset for it. So here are some questions for you to ask yourself. On every episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I give you questions to ask yourself, and I highly suggest you write these down, pen on paper, and write out your answers. So number one, first question to ask yourself today with this topic of why you can't control your sugar addiction. And you're writing this down on your paper, so you're asking yourself this question. And the first question is, have I ever succeeded permanently with releasing my sugar addiction on my own? So you're asking yourself this, and this is why I'm giving it to you in this presentation, in this form. And once again, that question is, have I ever succeeded permanently with releasing my sugar addiction on my own? Yes or no? Very simple question. Have you ever done that? Yes or no? Okay, and more than likely, since you're listening to this episode of my show today, you haven't. So your next question is, write this down, pen on paper. If you don't write these questions down, you're completely missing out on the connection that occurs between your head, your hand, and your heart. All right, so the next question is, if I keep doing what I'm doing today, what results will I have 1 year from now? What specific results will I have 1 year from now? Once again, if I keep doing what I'm doing today, what specific results will I have 1 year from now? And make a list of all of those specific results that you know you're going to have 1 year from now if you keep doing what you're doing today. And why? What is the purpose of asking yourself these questions and writing them down and doing this now? Well, the purpose is, hey, this is your life, and you're either going to make the changes and get the help that you need so that you can make those changes, or you're not. And if you keep dragging this out and you get caught up every day in your work and you're overeating and you're overweight, then how are you ever going to break free of that sugar addiction that is driving you crazy? Wouldn't it be great if you really could? So once again, that question was, if I keep doing what I'm doing today, what specific results will I have 1 year from now? All right, and then the final question, what exactly would it take for me to get the professional help of a highly trained coach so that I could be done with this nonsense once and for all? What exactly would it take for me to get the professional help of a highly trained coach so that I could be done with this nonsense once and for all? Now, why is this a good question to ask yourself? Well, back to the first question, have I ever succeeded permanently with releasing my sugar addiction on my own? If you answered no, which I, again, expect you would answer no to that since you're listening to my voice right now and you're here on the JoLynn Braley Show listening to why you can't control your sugar addiction. If you answered no to that, then you already know that you can't do it alone. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, this is really simple. I'm just breaking it down for you here, again, for the purpose that you can actually get different results in your life. Because if you don't know how to do this on your own, you don't know how to get the 90% of the problem solved, to get a weight loss mindset so that you can get off that sugar and you can actually gain control of your own mind and emotions, release the excess fat and keep it off, and do all of this without a battle, without that self-sabotage. If you don't know how to do that on your own, then that means you need help, right? So that is the purpose of this third question. What exactly would it take for me to get the professional help of a highly trained coach so that I could be done with this nonsense once and for all? Be done with the nonsense of the up and down yo-yo dieting, getting off of sugar and then binging on sugar, overeating, emotional eating, stressing out about your weight, feeling really bad because you suddenly had a special event come up that you had not planned and now you don't have any clothes to wear and you don't want anybody to see you. Wanting to just hide out in your house because you've gained so much weight, and then you keep binging on the sugar to try to make yourself feel better, but all that does is give you a bigger problem. So to be done with all of that frustration, all of that nonsense, all of that struggle, what exactly would it take for you to get the professional help of a highly trained coach who already has the proven system so that you could be done with all of this struggle once and for all? Okay, it's time for a commercial break, and then we're going to wrap up today's show. And today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is fearlessfatloss.com. And when you go to fearlessfatloss.com, what you can do is opt in for my free 5-day e-course, which will help you learn more about a weight loss mindset. And also, I will tell you in that e-course exactly how you can take the first step if you really are ready to release all of these struggles with food and your weight once and for all, including your sugar addiction. And what that first step would be a complimentary one-on-one weight loss discovery session with me, and that's only for you if you truly are serious about ending all of these struggles once and for all. And you'll get that link in the free 5-day e-course, and at the same time you're going to learn more about a weight loss mindset and what has really been stopping you from losing weight for good. So it's all good for you. And it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Because you've got to do something if you're not getting the results that you want. And if you keep doing the same thing, then that's just like Einstein's definition of insanity. Continue to do the same thing over and over and over again while expecting different results. And you already know that that's not going to get you the results of struggle-free weight loss, permanent weight loss, and permanent release from what you call today your sugar addiction. So head on over to fearlessfatloss.com and you can sign up for that free 5-day e-course now. All right, and on many of these shows each week, I give a shout out to the new folks who have liked our Facebook page. And so to get a shout out from me, here's all you need to do. Just go to thejolynnbraleyshow.com and click like. It's very simple. And then what I will do is give you a shout out on an upcoming show. And if you are viewing this on iTunes, then you can see how my name is spelled, and that's really easy for you to then go to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com and just click like on our Facebook page. If you're not viewing this on iTunes, first of all, I highly recommend that you do subscribe in iTunes, because what that will do for you is you will get each week's episode immediately as soon as it is out, and then you can listen in right away. If you're not listening on iTunes, though, then the way to spell my name, it's JoLynn. Braley is B as in boy, Raley, and then show is SHOW, of course. So the JoLynnBraleyShow.com. Just go there and then click like, and I'll give you a shout out on an upcoming episode. It's a lot of fun, and then you get to hear your name on the show, and it's good. It's fun. Okay, let's take a look at what you learned today. What you learned today is really the reason why you can't control your sugar addiction. Number one, you don't have the mindset for it. And number two, if you had the mindset for it, then it would be easy for you to get off of it and release the chemical addiction if you do have a chemical addiction that keeps you eating the sugar. And number three is you've never made the decision to actually break free from the sugar addiction, which means that you'd make the decision that, hey, I am worth getting a weight loss mindset. Obviously, I need help to do it, because if I already knew how to do it, I would have done it 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And possibly, maybe, what if it's actually time for me to step up for me and value myself enough to let this go? I mean, really, do you really need to keep beating yourself up and struggling for the end until the end of time? I mean, of course I say you don't, and there are loads of people out there who are no longer struggling like you are today, and they have released their sugar addiction, and they found out that it never even was about the actual sugar. And I guarantee it's the same for you. And you also learned today that you can get a shout out from me on an upcoming show by just going to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com and clicking like to like the Facebook page. You also learned that sugar addiction, it is possible that it could be chemical, and I gave you some tips on what to look for on labels. However, you also learned as a reminder that, hey, you already know those things and you're not doing them. So you on top of everything, what you learned here is that when you're not already doing what you know you should be doing, which is eating healthy and exercising regularly, then what you have learned here is that you do not have the mindset. You don't have a core solid weight loss mindset, because if you did, then it would be easy for you to do the 10%. And you did also learn that positive thinking, surface positive thinking, is not enough, and that's not what a weight loss mindset is. And you've got to, if you really are serious about ending your lifelong food and weight struggles, you've got to get to the root of why you have been struggling for so long and where all that started, and heal that, release it, and then get on with your life. Now, fortunately, that doesn't mean that you have to go to therapy and dig up the past and go through years of talking to get struggle-free permanent weight loss and release your sugar addiction. Actually, it can be done very, very fast, and that's only, though, if you are working with a trained pro. So let's look at what is next week's episode. Next week's episode on the JoLynn Braley Show is why you can't lose weight on a diet. And again, if you have not already subscribed in iTunes, I strongly suggest you do that so that you gain access to each week's new show immediately. And also, if you are already subscribed in iTunes, or if you're subscribing right now as I'm talking, then go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating. Also, be sure to go over to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com and click like on our Facebook page. You'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming show, and that'll be a lot of fun. This is JoLynn Braley, the FAT Release Coach, and you've been listening to The JoLynn Braley Show. Go on over to fearlessfatloss.com to learn more and grab your free 5-day e-course while you're there. It will help you answer the question for sure, 100%, definitely, absolutely, is your mindset fit or FAT, and also help you discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good and what you can do about it. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.